What's going on, everybody? It is Paige Hubbard here, and I am joined by Brandon with Next Level, and we're going to address the conversation about what Next Level is, what it has to offer, and what is his role with the company. How's it going?
Man, it's amazing. We alive and we blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we're here in your shop located on the southwest side. So for the viewers that are tuned in
Right.
and for the viewers who are not so familiar with Next Level is, let's have that conversation. How did that name come about and what is it?
Okay. Initially, Next Level was something that we wanted to plug in for in California. That's why I wanted to start the store originally. So on paper, it was in LA. So we kind of plugged in Next Level Automotive later. And so once we had that, we just tried to make sure any project we did, it was Next Level or something different. That's how that came about.
So the name behind it was it like a lavish lifestyle? Was the inspiration behind Next Level? Or?
I mean, kind of, but it was just more like, honestly, like on piece of paper, plugging different things in there. And the thing that just kind of just was like, ta-da moment was the Next Level kind of stood out.
And what motivated you to gravitate towards that idea?
I mean, I think the main thing was just like wanting to be different and separating from the norm. Because, you know, a lot of people get their cars done many places and do things like that. But you want to stand out. Everybody wants to be different. So let's say take it to the next level, whatever we do, whether it's rims and tires or paint and body work, whatever the case may be.
So as you just said, let's take it to the next
Yeah.
level. So what all do you do here in terms of like car servicing? You rent cars, you service
For
cars.
sure. We do everything. We do car rental. We just got into the high-end line. So we're in a lot of like Maseratis, Infinitis, Rolls Royce, Bentley, and stuff like that. But I mean, even the regular stuff, we got, you know, Tahoe stuff, regular everyday drivers. So paint and body work, that's a big thing. And it kind of led us into doing the rentals because people needed cars while the cars are being serviced. So it's kind of like, you know, the cause and the effect. So it's the problem and the solution all in one.
So y'all have a little bit of everything.
Oh, it's a gumbo over here.
Oh, I like that. A gumbo. I'm a
I'm
Creole
from the South.
lady.
Yeah, okay,
So
man.
I love me some gumbo,
Yeah.
honey. Now, I know that you do more than just car services here.
For
Before
sure.
the interview started, we talked about the apparel. I got blessed with some good
Oh,
Next
yeah.
Level hats and
Goodies.
t-shirts, honey.
Yes.
So let's tell the viewers about that. What do you have coming up next with the brand?
So now we have actually Next Level apparel, and you can shop Next Level. Darien and I, we plugged up together and just decided to make something more fashionable for others. So you might not want your car done. You might not want to get a car rental, but you might just, you know, like the shirt or like the slogan. So we got a solution for that. We put it on hats, fanny packs, I mean, cups, just on everything. So your life can be next level. Your cup, your fanny, everything next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now in terms of the apparel line, what was the light bulb moment when you were like, okay, we're doing our thing with the cars. Now let's try our hand at something different. Was it a dream of yours to always have a clothing line?
Honestly, it wasn't. Like, honestly, when Darien came to me, he was like, you know what, that's a positive kind of slogan. So whatever the case may be, he suggested with if you was a plumber, you could be the best plumber, take your plumbing to the next level. You at McDonald's, drop them fries on the next level. You know what I mean? So that could be applied to any person. You don't have to be a CEO per se. You can just be an everyday person. But whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing it on the next level status. It's a universal term that's good for everybody.
And also, from what I'm gathering from it, it's a way or a phrase to motivate people to be their
Exactly,
best.
exactly.
No matter, as you said, if you're a plumber, a doctor, a lawyer,
Exactly.
a stripper, honey, whatever it is,
Not like chicken.
take it to the next level.
Exactly.
So what is your role with the company?
I mean, for me, I call myself the organizer per se.
You're being modest. You're being modest.
You know, there's a title there, but you know, God run the show over here. But you know, I will be the CEO of the company. But there's people around me that I would not even be able to breathe without around here. So I always acknowledge them in every moment, every corner, every turn, because they really keep me in check. On paper, I may be one thing, but in reality, they my bosses, because they tell me what needs to be done. When I'm slacking and missing stuff or appointments need to be made, they own me. So I love them forever.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
ties into the phrase, it takes a village.
Oh man, live village and then some.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even
Sure.
after you like reach your success, it still takes a lot of people to help see it through.
100%. You know, everybody's not always be the person in front of the camera. I might be the guy around here that my friends tease me because I'm always on this side, but I need them 100%. I need them more than they probably even realize. So I always tell them thank you, and I'm thankful for them, for sure.
Cool, cool. Now, in terms of, markets and things of that nature,
Hmm.
what makes your brand different than all of the other automobile services or clothing lines out there on the market?
It's funny you say that because I was just talking about this yesterday on my Insta story, just saying that I feel like we do a lot for our people, and we don't even like necessarily charge them per se. Like a lot of pickup services, drop off services, after hour phone calls, texts, and things like that. Like our door may say we close at 6, but guaranteed I'm getting text messages at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 a.m., and we're still servicing people. So I think that reachability and that that family kind of feel, it makes people feel comfortable to want to shop with you more because it's not just at 6:05 you can't reach me, we're done. We're still like attainable, what I mean, and accessible and people like that.
So, as owner and CEO of Next Level, how
Mm.
much like say so a thought process comes from you in terms of decision making when it comes down to the shirts? This is a very nice layout that you
Thank
have
you.
here, or in terms of hours of operation. Like, how hands on are you?
I'm hands on with it, but like I said, Darien, he actually redesigned the logo because we had mine's originally it was pretty much block letter, so it was kind of, I would say, boring. But this here gives it a new like oomph to it. You know what I mean? So
A little,
oh yeah, whoa! They put their flavor on it for sure. So, and that's one thing he did. I was like, man, I'm with it all the way. Like I tell him all the time, it's yes to everything. Even like this situation here, like it's always a thumbs up because you never know who's going to encourage or inspire, and this right here just stands out to people when they see it and gravitate to that. For
I
sure.
like that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
We're here to inspire and to
That's what it's about.
cultivate.
Exactly.
So we're gonna switch gears a little bit
Okay.
here. I want to know more about your personal journey. I'm
Okay.
sitting in front of a very successful man, who's helped me along my journey. I
Mm-hmm.
must say,
It's
I
love.
want to know before you got to the space that you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some of the challenges that you had to overcome and some of the lessons that life has taught you along the way.
For sure. I mean, definitely anybody that's trying to be an entrepreneur, like we were talking about this out of town. We was in Atlanta a week or so ago, and just how like if you're in your family, if you're the first person doing it and nobody else is doing it, it's confusing to them. So I think support is one of the first challenges, and not because people don't want to support you, they really just don't know how to support you. Because the average person, they have a 9 to 5 job, and there's nothing wrong with that. I had hundreds of those. You know what I mean? Got fired, laid off, all kind of company mergers, but in reality, long term, I didn't want to do that forever. So I told my mom, hey, look, it's gonna be a struggle, but I'm gonna figure this thing out. So I was struggling a long time financially, and she's like, well, call your cousin at UPS, and I just didn't want to do that anymore. I got tired of getting those phone calls about not having a job anymore. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you have to believe in yourself and in your own passion, in your own direction, because they can't guide you if they haven't been there before. So
Right.
you can't GPS me if you don't know what the end game is. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
for sure.
So, do you think that, it's a lot of conversation held around like black owned businesses and things of that nature, and
Hmm.
you went from working for somebody to
Hmm.
being your own boss? Do
Hmm.
you think that sometimes the narrative that's put out there about having your own business is sometimes told in a way that makes it seem like it's too hard or too obtainable to achieve?
For sure. I think people should know like having your own business is a great thing, but expect, downfalls, expect failure, you know what I mean? It's going to happen. Accept things that you're having to pay out for that probably not even your fault, but it's just losses come with that. But I mean, we have to preach about the good and the bad. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, I feel like the narrative is like as soon as people get on there, they're like, "I'm rich, I'm on," and that's not reality. Reality is you have to go a long time, like months, sometimes years, before you actually see a return in the situation. That's why I try to be honest on my page. Like, hey, I was broke a long time. I struggled. I was only paying rent and not surviving barely. You know what I mean? So people know, like, I'm not gonna just glamorize one side of it. You see the side now because we're up, but that's 3 or 4 years behind us when we were putting this into effect. You just now see the upside of it. So take all of that with the story.
I think that's a very important part to tell because I think these days,
Hmm.
just from my opinion, I
Hmm.
think that we're living in a microwavable
Oh yeah, for
success,
sure.
so to speak. I'm part of the millennial generation, and not to speak for anybody else, but I think that oftentimes most people coming up in these days just want it really quick,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
nothing worth having doesn't come with hard work. So
man,
I always believe, it's okay to share some of your losses.
for sure.
Do you look at, failures or downfalls more as lessons, or do you look at them as like L's, like taking the L?
Well, I think there are lessons personally. Like, initially in the situation, I'm not going to sit up and say, you're like, you know what? That's a lesson I learned today. Initially, you can be like, man, it's an L. But, long term wise, you have to look at the bigger picture. Like, a business is based upon long term goals. So if you put out $3,000 on the first, you might get maybe 2,000 back in 15 days. But in 3, 4, 5 months, if you hold on to that thing, you might turn around 10, 15,000. So that's the thing. People have to be able to be in business to know that I can't always expect an instant return on whatever it is. That's the whole game I think I've learned. It's like being in business, successful business, you're able to put out money on one day and wait for that return at a later date.
And stay persistent and be consistent is what I'm hearing from you also.
For sure. You got to, because that's the thing. Like a lot of times people can't afford to put out the money and wait for it. They need, if I put out my $200 a day, I need $350 back tomorrow. That's not reality. That's a hustle. In a business, it's like if I put out this money today, you have to be able to wait 60 days, net 30 days, because these companies we're working with, they won't pay sometimes to 60 or 90 days until they money clear on their side. And they got millions of dollars, but they still pay you on 60-day, 90-day, 120-day terms.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have to be able to maintain your finances for that.
Is that one of the hardest parts about being a business owner?
I think so. Being able to, like I said, put money out and have to wait for that money to come back. I tell all my friends that, you know what, that's the harder business. You got to be able to have money that you could lay out there on the water and it don't swim right back to you. You got to wait, for it to return properly.
Because at the end of the day, it comes, it go back, you spend it,
man,
whatever.
Look, hey,
as long as you're saving it.
Amen.
Right, amen. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the apparel and where can the viewers get some of that merchandise?
For sure. We have some in store here. They have a couple of cases in here so we can stop by here, pick up some stuff. Also, we have the website, Shop Next Level. You can go to our Instagram, which is Shop Next Level Apparel. So check that out for sure. You can drop shit right to your doorstep. No problem.
Instagram, Facebook.
Well, not Facebook.
Not Facebook.
Instagram.
That's the old school.
Yeah, my old church members got the Facebook.
I still got Facebook.
I do too. Don't get me wrong. But
not for clothing. Not for clothing line.
We on Instagram.
I like that.
And we'll drop shit right to your doorstep. So that's pretty cool.
So what do you like to do in your spare time? We talked a lot about who you are as a businessman, but let's get a little bit more up close and personal.
I call myself a public-private person. What I mean by that is like, of course, like this side eye in the light, whatever the case may be. But I really like just going to the movies sometimes. Just, matinee. I love a good icy. That's my thing. Icy and nachos at the movies.
Do you mix the flavors or you do just
I'm
one?
wild cherry only. Wild cherry, maybe Coke. The blue just do something. I don't like the blue.
I don't like the blue either.
Friend.
I don't like blueberries.
Yeah,
and then it had your...
it's different. No. I'm straight wild cherry and Coke. If anything, a little Coke on there.
So you seem like a pretty down-to-earth type of dude.
I try to be, for sure, because, at the end of the day, we all bleed blood. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And I tell anybody I was struggling longer than I was successful. So you never forget where you came from. I used to walk to school, ride the bus, all that kind of stuff, ride a bike to school, all that kind of things. So that part, you have to never forget that. I'll never be better than anybody else. I got some knowledge, and I want to share that to bring other people up, not hold anybody down or back.
I think that's so important because oftentimes I also see when people make it or get successful, reach their peak, that they're forgetting it's a whole nother generation coming behind you. And I think it's so important to pay it forward and pass the baton and keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
But people don't understand, even all the way back to the biblical days, when you alienate yourself from that success and you're the only person, the only one king, that creates that envy. I don't want nobody to envy. I want to build everybody up. Let the whole kingdom thrive.
Build
an
empire.
15, 20, 30 kings around you. This is a kingdom, not just one king.
Absolutely.
It's a difference.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I like that thought process.
Yeah, you got to be that way because, you're going to get killed. In the Bible, how many kings got assassination attempts or assassinated or their brother or their wife set them up because they didn't get tired of that. Like, this is one person we're looking up to now. If everybody around here is on, there's no envy. We all got riches. We all got lavish lifestyles. That's what it's supposed to be about.
So in your opinion, how would you find success at this point in your life?
Being able to help as many people as I could and give back. At one point, I felt like success was defined by the amount of things I had. There's only so many shoes you can buy, only so many pair of jewelry, you know what I mean? Places you can go. Like, I didn't been places like, man, I can name the GPS this city because, you've been there so many times. But I feel like the real success is being able to put somebody on a position to be successful themselves.
For sure.
Yeah.
I like that 100%. Idea. So coming up in the next future years
Hmm.
or months, we're not gonna say years 'cause that's a
Yeah.
long time. What's the legacy you want to leave behind?
Man, just knowing that you can do it too. Like faith can change anything, and just knowing not about where you start, really where you finish. And that sounds so simple, but a lot of times people they grow up in poverty. They don't see any other way out other than doing something legal, drugs, stuff like that, or maybe basketball or football. And that's cool, but everybody doesn't go to the league. You know what I mean? You got to create your own thing, find your own wave, your own lane, and stay in it, and just teach somebody else when you find a path. Bring somebody else with you. Don't do it by yourself, because again, that envy come back. If you got somebody in the hood you can give back to, bring them with you too.
Would you say would that be some advice you would give to young entrepreneurs coming up that are following in your footsteps?
For sure, like you got to know, like if you got some real friends that's with y'all, like y'all came up together, like put them on that other idea, because it's not that they don't want to get down with it. They might not even think about it as an option, but once the option comes available, they gonna run with you, because well, y'all real friends.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to undress the conversation a little bit more and get a little deeper just in terms of, some of the challenges. Because, again, I feel like we talk a lot about the outside appearance as
Hmm.
far as, the success and things like that.
Right.
But we really don't hear the backstory.
Gotcha.
So can you think of one particular moment in your career thus far that was just like, man, that was something really hard for me to go through, but I've overcame it, I've overcome, and it's made me a better person? Is there any
Definitely.
one thing that stands out to you more than any other experience that you've been through?
Definitely. I think rebranding and starting over. There was a point in my life, like about 4.5, 5 years ago. I was actually in business with my friends before, and that didn't work out. And that honestly, that crushed me. Like personally, that was something that hurt me, because I felt like if we friends, we would never fall apart. Business was secondary, friendship was first. But having to start over, it just let me feel like what, anything is truly possible. Because initially, I was afraid to come out and be like, okay, I'm doing this on my own now. People like, man, what you doing? I thought you was, you know what I mean? So that rebranding, that's like a whole, for me, that was a battle, because I didn't want to have the conversation about why, when, how, those
Mm,
things. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
once I kind of swallowed that, I feel like people accepted it, and that people didn't care, and that was an internal thing. I think, you know what I mean? I'm thinking one way, they're like, so we rocking with you as an individual because of the way you treated me, the service you provided. So once I realized that, I kind of just took it off and ran with it.
Do you think that maybe in the future would you encourage people not to go into business with friends?
I wouldn't say that per se, because every situation is different. Because you
Hmm.
have successful people that are friends, and it goes long term. I think it just creates potential more challenges. If you have a prior relationship, because sometimes when business is business, it's only business. When it's friendly business, like sometimes it overlaps, and people get confused on where to draw the line. So it's a tricky thing, but it can happen. I don't want to discourage anybody from not doing it, because it's possible.
That's a good message to send because it's
Yeah,
not a one size fits
for sure,
all
for sure.
type of
Yeah,
solution.
yeah. You know what I mean? I think like it can happen.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Just whatever works for you, go with
Exactly,
it.
because you just never know.
So going back to advice,
Hmm.
what's some things that you would tell upcoming entrepreneurs to stay away from when they want to start a business? Like, what is like an absolutely no?
Absolutely, do not listen to anybody who is not even interested in your field or trying to be an entrepreneur. And you know what I mean? Because it's like people got a lot of opinions. Like I remember back in the day, people used to be like, "Man, on my car, I'll put X, Y, Z. I would do this to your car. I would do this to my car." I'm like, well, what kind of car you got? Oh, I ain't got no car. Oh wow, okay. So I'm taking advice from somebody who doesn't even have a car. So same thing with business. If I'm selling cookies or something like that, and you don't even like cookies, like how can you guide me on what to do and what not to do? You have to at least have some kind of passion for what I'm doing to fully understand the ins and outs. So don't misguide me because you're not even involved. Some people just hating. They don't want to see you shine. So they throw salt just because they don't even want to see you do better than what they did or didn't do.
Right.
So you just gotta, man, find somebody that really believes in. They might not even understand what you're doing, but at least say, you know what, whatever you do, do it. That's the person you want to just hold hands and arms with them, because they really believe in your vision.
And don't listen to critics
Oh
with no
man,
credentials.
man, that's what I'm saying. You got nothing to fall back on or stand on. Guess what? You falling on your back.
Right. Move out the way. We ain't got
Please
time for that.
excuse.
Now, in terms of inspiration,
Mhm.
is there anybody dead or alive in your family or somebody you really don't know who really inspired you on your journey to take on this venture?
I mean, truth be told, I would say like my family did. It's like indirectly, even though they didn't understand it, they still inspire me. My mom, she struggled as a single parent, like, but I didn't even know that. So she did such a good job with me that I never even missed a meal. Never missed a meal. Clearly, I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? But like, she always took me places. I always traveled. So I never realized she worked like 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I was always with my grandparents during the summertime. She was working 2 and 3 jobs just to provide. So it's like that inspired me. You know what? If I get in a position, I don't want to ever have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing wrong with working, but I don't want to have to slave just to provide for my family. You know what I mean? She did that. She sacrificed that. That's why now I give her the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything she want, I would try to do it.
That's
Well,
right.
not anything, mama, relax.
I'm pretty sure she's very proud of you.
Yeah, definitely.
And in
sure.
a way, I would see that's also motivational for. I can relate to that story because I was raised by a single mom. It's 4 of us.
Yeah.
So, I saw my mom hustling, and
Mhm.
I always said that I wanted to do better. So I think
Exactly.
that's something very admirable that people can resonate with.
Man, for real, for real. Man, that is nothing. The struggle can motivate you, for real, for real.
Absolutely. It take a little hurt to motivate you.
Oh,
That's what the
man.
meme on Instagram say. At
Man,
least.
it do. And I was hurting.
Well, you doing good now,
Yeah,
honey,
yeah.
because we in your shop.
Yeah,
You
we
got
in here. Yeah.
Maseratis
You know what I'm saying?
and all type of cars.
know.
Let's go back to the automobile part about
Okay.
it. What type of brand of cars do you have?
Okay, so we have the Maserati, we have Infiniti, we have contact with Bentley, Rolls Royce. Really, we get anything. That's the cool thing about it. Because once you get in this industry, people see how you're moving. They want to work with you. Like, even they get a percentage of what you're doing. They like, you know what? I give you my truck, and can you move my vehicle? Sure, I can. For a small fee. You know what I mean? So it's
I always
like,
got to put that on there.
yeah, little razzle dazzle, little splash,
Sprinkle.
yeah, little splash.
A little sound.
Yeah, you know.
I
But,
can dig it.
yeah, so I think it's one of those things where once you kick that door down, it's like, that's what I tell people all the time. Nobody want to give you anything when you ain't got nothing. But when you got a little bit of something, people just give you stuff. And that's weird to me. You feel like it should be the other way around. If you ain't got no money, like, give me a loan. But when you got money already, you got some kind of credit, they want to give you loans. Oh,
I
why?
think also too is because people want to see that you're established before
True.
they put their money on something, because it's a big chance to take.
It is,
Like
it is.
with somebody just starting out. I agree with you though. I feel like people have to prove themselves, even though they already see the talent. It's just like,
Right.
okay, once you reach a certain level,
Yeah.
then I'll get behind you. And to
Exactly.
that point, let's undress or open up the conversation a little bit more wider. I'm from Houston, you're from Houston,
Yeah.
and I've heard conversations about how sometimes the city only supports the same people over and over again.
Right.
And with Houston being such a large city, we have the potential to be at LA or New York or in Atlanta.
For sure.
Do you feel like sometimes the people here in the city, I would never put a negative spin on this, I hate to say it, but do you think that they have like a crab in the bucket mentality when it comes to helping that next wave of successful people up and coming people and things like that?
I do. I think there's like that mentality where, like, again, I want to see somebody do better than me. I want to give you a little bit of information, but when you start to do too much, I'm gonna bring you down some. I really like the female music wave that's going on out here, though, because I see a lot of togetherness going on with that. So I love that, because that in turn is gonna make everybody else pay attention and come back and swing around. So I like that part of it. But you do have to be careful. Again, it's all about your surroundings. Like, keep positive people around you so y'all all go up. Because you get one person around you with some little negativity, and you just kind of bring your whole aura down. So you don't want that kind of thing around
For
you.
sure.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest mottos in life is optimistically as possible.
Gotta be.
What would you say one of your biggest philosophies or of life is or are, if you will?
Man, honestly, it's faith. I'm a real faith-based person. Like, even here, we have a cross or some kind of God memorabilia in every room, and that's just because, like, I truly believe that, because when we started here, it was on hope and a prayer. Like, we didn't know where the next customer was gonna come or anything, but ever since then, like 5 years later, we still going. So definitely faith-based.
And in terms of a mission statement, what is the mission statement of Next Level?
Let us take it to the next level.
I like that.
In every way, you know what I mean? In every
The
way.
cameraman smiling back there. He like it too.
In every way, yeah. So I think it's one of the things, like, no matter what it is, whether it's apparel, cars, bodywork, whatever, like, we want to take it to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's such like an open cap. That can mean anything.
Exactly.
It's not limiting by all means at all.
Whatever you're doing.
if there's somebody here in the city, or even not in the city, anybody that you would want to collaborate with,
Like as far as like apparel or clothes or
just period.
man, shoot. Honestly, people think he's weird. I still like Kanye West though.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think people think he's weird?
Well, because just the things he was saying, like they were taken out of context. I feel, and I got into it with some people I talked to. They're like, "Well, you ride for him," like, but I feel like in the moment he was speaking. It's not okay, but he was speaking out of term and not fully aware of the depth of the conversation.
Are you talking about the whole slavery was a choice thing or whatever he
Yep,
said?
exactly. Because I think when he said it, I don't think he meant like, okay, yeah, let's go be slaves. Yay, no. But if everybody would have stuck together, they would have overpowered the people that were in control, because it was more of them than it was people that were over the masters and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's what I think what he meant. I don't think he meant like they chose to get on the boat and get beaten and killed. Definitely by no means.
Do you think that if the black community were to stick together more, I think most of us do pretty well, but do you think if we had like a more sense of unitedness, do you think that it would be like a different vibe within the black community?
100%. Like, look at the amount of money we spend just on retail and stuff like that. So if we use the energy for real with only like black business and things like that, we would definitely be thriving. They'd be forced to listen to all our ideas. They use our ideas and market it back to us, and we pay double and triple the amount. Like, I remember something simple when I was little. Oxtails was cheap. They was like dirt cheap. My grandma used to always make oxtails. Now that's a delicacy. Get oxtails now on a Sunday.
They're like $17. I know, because I eat them.
Me too. Love them.
So we've covered a lot of bases here. We talked about your brand, its mission statement, what it stands for. In the next coming years, how do you see yourself elevating even more?
Definitely, I just think we should have more brand awareness on a state-to-state, nationwide basis. We travel a lot right now, making sure that we, shoot with a lot of people from state to state. So I would want that to be even more popular thing, and people even coming to us wanting to shoot with us. So I just want to keep just building the awareness of the brand. Like right now, I want it to be like Coca-Cola. Like when you see it, whatever color it is, you recognize it from a mile away. You see that can, you know what it is. So I want us to have that same kind of feel and appeal to the masses.
Absolutely. And how long have you been in business?
Ooh, now it's been 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good time.
Yeah, for sure. But over time, like I told you before, so collectively it's more than 15, 20 years, you know what I mean? Collectively between us. But I mean, over here alone, 5 years.
Is there something that you want to try your hand at that you haven't touched before? Maybe like next level food or next level appliances, next level cosmetics, honey.
Okay. You know what? If you down, I'm down. You know what? Get them faces beat to the gods.
If I could get a little cut from it, that's no problem with me.
We can work that out.
Next level media.
Okay.
See, I'm giving you all my good stuff.
I'm taking notes.
Well, it's your name, so we got to collaborate on some things.
Man, I would love to, for sure.
Now, let's talk about more about Houston culture. We have a lot of successful people on the map right now. We got Lizzo from the Southwest, A-Leaf, Megan Thee Stallion doing her thing, the Queen, Beyonce, and we have a lot of underground artists, too, that are coming up. Who's your favorite right now on the music scene?
Oh, that's tough. Like, Houston, though?
Houston. And then just on the grand scheme of things, give me your two. Houston-wise, and then just nationally, who else?
I ain't gonna lie, locally, I like Don Toliver. I like him.
Made a lot of money on the back end. I could like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I like Don Toliver too.
I like him because, he's that guy, like, honestly, I heard him by accident one day. I was like, who was that? Then you make you start researching. Like, okay, he really putting in work, for real. So I like his music. I like the energy of it. Just, he got the unique voice. Like, once you hear him rapping, you're like, oh, that's him right there.
It's so crazy. Maybe my Houston card is going to get revoked. But I didn't know he was from Houston.
Wow.
Until you just told me something. Breaking news.
Wow. In the news.
Right. So, on a national level, who's your favorite out right now? Who you listening to on your way to work? Or
I ain't gonna lie, my guy Tory Lanez. You need to drop that Chicks Take 5. Like,
really?
I love Tory Lanez. Like, he's so talented. Like, he's like the underdog. Like, you know what I mean? Well, he's mainstream, but to me, he's like right there to like really just being for real, blown up worldwide.
Do you like his singing or his like rapping?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I had to choose, I choose singing first. But
really?
he can rap too. You ain't heard Chicks Tape?
No, I'm not really a big Tory Lanez fan. I'm sorry.
Listen, Chicks Tape 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4 would change your mind. Trust me.
Wow, I'll listen to it
Trust me.
on the ride home
Oh
this
yes,
evening.
you can be in that bad boy doing.
With my Next Level T-shirt on.
And cap and fanny pack.
Oh yes, sir, yes, sir. And I have to Instagram it up.
Oh yes.
Now, more about brand awareness and readiness. We see social media is really relevant these days.
Right.
How do you use social media to promote Next Level? Is it a very vital tool for you to put your company and business out there, or do you use other methods as well?
I think social media should be our last resort, honestly. Don't get me wrong, it's powerful, but I'm old school, so I still like hand to hand. I still go past our business cards, you know what I mean? I do a lot of interviews with people, getting in their face, because like we talked about traveling state to state, because I just feel like one follower that you really know versus 100 that don't really know you is more valuable, you know what I mean? Because once somebody really puts their hands on you, really touch you, they know who you are versus somebody, I'll just follow them because they're cool, whatever. But once somebody really meets you in person, like this engagement we have like here, it's more personal, and like you walk away feeling like that's my friend, or I really know them for real, for real. Not just somebody you look at and laugh at on the ground. Oh, I look at them being stupid.
That's super interesting for you to say, because I've been hearing so many conversations about social media, use social media, to promote it and put it out there.
I mean, I'm not against you. You should definitely use it. It's definitely a great platform. But I'm saying people right now, they're so comfortable saying, "Oh, I posted a picture. They know what's going on." No, they don't. Like, that's not enough. Like, it's cool to put it on Instagram, but don't think you just did a whole day shift because you posted a picture at 8 o'clock. No, and got 100 likes. So what? Some people are just liking it just because. You need real interactions, real engagements, like real functions. Like, when I seen you at the event, we was out there on the ground. That's a real relationship we created, not just to follow. You know what I mean? Because at the time, I was already following you prior to that.
I didn't.
Exactly. I was already a follower because I liked what you were doing. I hadn't met you yet, but I liked the way you were moving and the way you were engaging the community and stuff like that. So it's like when I did finally see you, now I put two and two together. Now we got a real relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the support.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
But I like that approach. Boots on ground,
Got
grassroots, knocking on doors, passing out flyers, type of deal.
Yeah, because the Instagram it's so impersonal. Keep in mind, social media, we giving y'all what we want y'all to see. In person, boots on the ground. Sometimes it be ugly, but hey, look, I'm out here, support me. And sometimes the person that you meet in person, they'll support you in their hand-to-hand versus somebody just scrolling through your page and just looking at it and liking stuff. I got people that follow me and watch stuff all the time. They ain't bought nothing. But people that don't even know I have social media, they shop here all the time.
How important is support to you?
I think that support is something that just shows you love. I mean, it lets you know that what you're doing is really being believed in and trusted. So it's important because that's what keep the lights on and stuff like that. But in reality, some people they don't even know how to support you fully. You know what I mean? They just know like, okay, well, that's what you're doing. But again, they don't understand it. But hey, just thank me or pray for me. That praying for me is support for me. That's what I need more than anything. Pray for us, for sure.
Do you feel like sometimes the word support and validation gets
all the time
misconstrued? Because it's a difference to I support you, and it's a difference for my support validating you. Like you successful, whether you know what I'm saying, whether you get what I'm saying.
For sure. People use that validation and like Jacquees, I like him, another artist. He has a song called No Validation. I feel like that's important. People miss the message. Like, you're going to be you no matter what, whether somebody acknowledges you or not, whether you win that award or not, you're still being you, you're still being successful. Don't look for outside applause, hand claps, and praise to feel like, oh, I made it. You made it by when your friends are coming up with ideas to make money with you. Your friends say, you know what, I saw what you did last week. I'm going to start doing this too. That's real support, you know what I mean? And acknowledgement.